Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we're doing Hell's Revenge in the Pajero Mini. Now, if you're just now joining us, we are on day 13 of my Pajero Mini road trip, where I am road tripping this car, the Pajero Mini, a K truck from Japan, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona to Bozeman, Montana, and I'm doing as much off-road along the way as possible. So I'm here in Moab, Utah this morning, and we're hitting up probably the most iconic trail in Moab, Hell's Revenge. Now, to be honest, I've done Hell's Revenge a handful of times in a handful of vehicles, and while it is probably the most famous, it is definitely not the hardest. However, it is a ton of fun, and there's nothing really like it anywhere else. The slick rock, you get to go up and down. It's an amazing trail. So today, I'm not out here to prove anything crazy. I just want to have fun. But I started off this morning by doing a little bit of catch up. Did some laundry, got a shower, and did some work on my friend's car. So this is my buddy Connor. He's got a Tundra, and we decided to replace the lower control arm bushings in his truck because we wanted to wheel with it. He's never done Hell's Revenge, even though he's lived here for 2 years. So we figured, let's get that up and running and we can do it together. While we were in the process, I also did an oil change on the Pajero Mini. I don't really need it. However, I did learn I've been running the wrong oil in this car. I have no idea what oil was in it before, but I've been adding 5W30 and it calls for 10W40. So I don't think I've screwed anything up too bad. The motor runs fine, but it was getting a little clicky late in the day when things were hot. So either way, now I've got an oil change in it. I did have a filter with me, otherwise I think it'd be a little harder to do it. But it's got an oil change in it, and while I was in there, while we were trying to jump my buddy's Tundra, I might have figured out why this thing's been running weird the entire trip. Let's see if I can get this on video. So we're here trying to jump my buddy's Tundra with the Pajero Mini, and we noticed there was a clicking sound, and I looked underneath there and it was actually sparking from this coil. So I pulled the coil out, and I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but this could be my issue, my stuttering issue this whole time. It would make tons of sense that it's just arcing. And I can't get one of these coils right now, and so I'm just gonna try to wrap it in a ton of electrical tape to see if I can isolate whatever's going on with that grounding issue, and see if that helps. So I've wrapped this thing up pretty good in electrical tape. The only concern I have is whether or not this spark plug boot is going to get actually all the way down onto the top of the plug, now that I've covered that, but I want to make sure that I've got everything covered. I'm not 100% sure how this is arcing or why it's arcing, but it is. So I'm going to give this a shot and see if it does any better. Back together. It's running and it's not sparking. I have no idea if it's fixed or not, but that's a good start. So I'm really hesitant to call it fixed, but it's running way better. There's no way that wasn't an issue. The fact that it was grounding out to the block, that means I'm not getting spark to that plug. That means I've got a dead cylinder, and it seems like it's only under load. So when I was going up a hill or I was really getting on it, that's when it was doing it, but that's not something I can diagnose just standing still. It's gotta have a load on it. So hooking it up to my buddy's battery put a load on the motor, and I was able to see it. So if that's it, that'll solve all my problems. It's not an ECU issue, it's not a throttle position sensor issue, it's that. And that would be amazing, but it would also mean that I've done the last almost 2 weeks on the road with a dead hole, basically. That's wild, but the electrical tape seems to be working. Maybe in the future I'll buy a coil for it, but hey, if it fixes it, it's fixed. Now, an obvious question I have is, why didn't that throw a check engine light? If I'm getting a real true misfire, you should get a check engine light. The check engine light in this works, but it wasn't giving me a check engine light, and I wonder if that's because the coil could still make a spark. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's running way better. I'm feeling great. The Pajero Mini is healthy, and we're gonna go hit Hell's Revenge. Okay, I'm calling it. It's fixed. It's never run this good before. It's actually making power. It's getting up to boost. I can lug it. It's like fast and zippy. I can't believe it. That means I've been driving this car for the last 2,000 miles. Done some of the craziest off-roading in this thing. Driven up and down crazy grades, crazy hills this whole time. And I didn't even have all the cylinders. Oh my gosh. Part of me is embarrassed. I should have figured this out, I don't know, 13 days ago. But the other part of me is just so stoked. It's running amazing. It feels fun and sporty. I can't wait to see what this will do on the hills now that it's got all the cylinders. Oh, yes! I'm so excited. Here's the beginning of Hell's Revenge. We got some Hummer tours going up. This is one of the more famous parts of it, is this lion's back right here at the beginning. It's a heck of a way to break in the trail. Made it to the top of the lion's back. This trail is just so much fun. There's nothing quite like it. You just go up and down this slick rock. It is like a roller coaster. Yeah, fun little hill climb. Moab chirp. First of several bigger hill climbs that I'm gonna have to do. I'm feeling re-inspired though now that I've got 4 cylinders. Let's see if we can get up this thing. Yeah! Oh my gosh, it's a completely different monster. This thing is so much better off-road now that it has 4 cylinders. Off in the distance here, you can see the iconic slick rock that this trail is known for. This is where it really gets fun. Here we go. The first of many massive hill climbs out here on Hell's Revenge. You can see lots of other cars have scraped something. I don't think the Pajero Mini is going to. There's a nice bump here right in the middle, but I'm climbing. I'm in the boost. Right there. Here's the bump. Oh yeah, still making power. I don't think I could have done this yesterday if I hadn't fixed that spark plug. Let's go! On top of the world! Yee-hoo! Oh! Pajero Mini conquering Hell's Revenge. Now we gotta go straight down. Oh yeah, not a problem. Smooth and steady. There's the next climb. There is technically a bypass, but I'm not really interested in taking a bypass because I think the Pajero Mini can do that. First, we gotta go down this hill though. All right, here's the big hill. Let's see if the Mini's got what it takes. It gets really steep right here at the top. Oh my gosh. Absolutely phenomenal. This is gonna be really interesting. Let's go! So there's two routes here. This one is the harder one, and then that sign right there says easier option. But I feel like I have to at least give this one a shot. It's a pretty good climb, but I'm feeling confident in the Pajero Mini. So we're approaching Hell's Gate, and we have to look at Hell's Gate. We've got to at least go and observe it, but I won't be running it today. With the transmission the way it is, leaking that fluid out the back, I'm just afraid I'm gonna get stuck at that angle and lose all of my transmission fluid out here in the middle of the trail, and that would be very bad. So here we are at Hell's Gate, and I will not be trying this obstacle today. I just don't think that the Mini has it, and I don't want to back down this. I'm a little worried about this angle and losing all my transmission fluid. So we're gonna let this one pass for now, but maybe next time. So I know, kind of a bummer to go and do Hell's Revenge and not do Hell's Gate. It is the iconic obstacle out here, but I figure I've gotten away with enough. Gonna count my wins while I got them. However, we are gonna go out to the lookout, even though it's gotten so stormy in the last 5 minutes. I would not want to be in a side-by-side right now. I've got the heat on, I got the windows up, I'm feeling good. All right, after all that talk about not wanting to lose my transmission fluid, I found a hill that I can't not climb, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Oh my gosh, dude. Easy, easy. Am I dripping transmission fluid? Huh? Count it. Oh my gosh, it's so stormy. What is happening? Yeah! Dude, it just eats! This thing's crazy. Oh my gosh. Look at this. What a view. What a view! So Connor's actually a buddy that I know from the Montero world. When he moved to Bozeman to go to school there, he had a Gen 2, and I'm one of the first people who actually took him out wheeling. So super fun to reconnect with him. He lives here in Moab, and rather than shoot a ton of video today, he's actually a photographer. He takes some sweet pictures. He shot other pictures of my Monteros in the past, and so he's gonna be getting some sweet shots of the Pajero Mini out here on Hell's Revenge. Heck yeah! Going into the hole. There's only one way out after this. Look how beautiful it is out here. This trail just rules. This is such a good trail. It's just so fun. You're just going up and down through the slick rock, driving on stuff that you didn't even know was possible for a car to drive on. And the Pajero Mini is the perfect wheelbase to just climb up this stuff. Oh, it's just the best. Yes. Just shot up that V-notch. This one right here feels like you're driving off the edge of the world. Oh wow, that is steep. Gotta keep the wheels turning. Fun little descent. You gotta climb up into it and then drop way down. Nice. We've almost made the loop back around to where we started from. This thing's doing awesome. Once again, we're finishing with the sun setting on this trail. This has been a great time. I love Hell's Revenge. It's just a fun trail. It's not overly difficult, but it'll really impress you with what you can do in a car. And this Pajero Mini has impressed me so much. Once again, the Pajero Mini has been unfazed by the off-roading. It's just crawling up these hills, no problem. Especially now that it's actually working on 4 cylinders. The articulation is actually pretty impressive in this thing. But I am leaking transmission fluid when I get at these really extreme angles, which Hell's Revenge is full of extreme angles. So tomorrow, before I take off and head north, I'm definitely gonna have to top that off, which shouldn't be a problem. And it's only when I get at really extreme angles. Nothing's broken. I think it's leaking out of the vent tube. I can't be 100% sure, but that's my suspicion. Yes, so good. It's so fun to see all these other rigs out here crawling around at night. This is a fun one to run in the dark. Just flying up these hills. Coming down some of this stuff at night is absolutely wild. But the Pajero Mini handles it like a champ. Then straight from downhill into uphill. Well, I can't see anything. Just looking straight at the sky. Crazy. This is the last steep climb. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we pretty much go straight down. Keep in mind on these hills, this is a stick shift turbocharged K car. Like when we're going up some of these hills, if you stall it, that's it. You've got to back down. You just don't have the power. And the Pajero Mini is just chugging up them. Unreal. You can see I'm not the only one leaking some kind of fluid on the way up. There's clearly a trail of something left by someone else here. Here's the hill that we came up earlier. It's really steep. Do I dare try to go down it? Well, I guess the answer is yes. Oh gosh. Might have overcommitted here. Oh! Oh my gosh. Oh, that was wild. Oh boy, I found my skid plate. I did it. Right here at the end. There it is. The exit sign for Hell's Revenge. We made it. And there's the beautiful lights of Moab. Of course, before you leave, there has to be one more climb for good measure. And if there's gonna be one more climb, there's gotta be one more big drop. And just like that, the trail is over. So there it is, Hell's Revenge in the Pajero Mini, and this thing crushed it. I am so thrilled that I was able to come out here and run that trail with Connor, get some sweet photos, and just go exploring. This thing was so much fun. And everyone who saw it on the trail was, one, very surprised that it was out there, but also so excited to see it. And so that's just so fun for me that I get to get out there in a car that's unlikely, but it's actually way more capable than I ever would have dreamed. So I'm leaving Moab with a crazy appreciation for what this car can do. It has way exceeded my expectations. From doing behind the rocks yesterday and navigating some really intense stuff to absolutely conquering Hell's Revenge today, it has just been a blast. Now, the only real drawback I'm seeing with this car, especially on Hell's Revenge, is that when I get it at extreme angles, I am leaking some transmission fluid. Like I said, I think it's the breather, and I think it's just the extreme angle. It's not all the time. It's just when I get really, really vertical going up something. And so tomorrow, I'm going to pick up some gear oil and put that in there and make sure to top it off before heading north. But if that's the worst of my issues, I'd say we're doing pretty good. Also, the tire patch is still holding up after another full day of wheeling, and I'm really thankful it's on there because I, again, do not want to blow out my sidewall. The thing that is blowing my mind the most about today is I cannot believe that I've been doing this whole trip 13 days. 13 days, almost 2,000 miles with that spark issue. The whole time you guys have heard me talking about there's something wrong with the car, there's something going on. And at first I thought it was the ECU because the previous owner said he had some ECU issues and he swapped it with another one. And he said, I bet that if you swapped it again, it would get rid of that issue. And so I thought, oh, well, as long as it's running the way it is, it's fine. But now it's fast, it has torque, it sounds way better. It's a whole new car. So in some ways, I'm kicking myself for not doing a better job of trying to figure out what exactly was going on. But at the same time, it was only happening when it was loaded. There's plenty of times where I've revved up the motor unloaded and it hasn't done anything. There's no spark or no issues. It was only attaching it to the other car and jumping that other battery that put enough of a load on the motor that I actually got it to arc across. And once I taped that thing up, it's been mint ever since. So I have no idea how it's going to perform on the highway, but it's gotta be better than it's been running the last couple weeks. So that's all for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me for this adventure of Hell's Revenge, and I'll catch you guys in the morning.